Guys, we're out here at Snyder Farms. Really cool project that we were involved with. I know we've been giving a ton of attention to our project up north. We've been dealing with some really hardcore rock up there and had to use a breaker to get through it for a couple of months. It was some shining light, but man, they have done such a good job. Shout out to Rusty and Eddie, those two crews. They absolutely knocked this out of the park. We had about 4,400 linear feet of, you can actually move up here, Will, and you can kind of see my hydrants. It's beautiful. But long story short, 4,400 linear feet of 8-inch water distribution main. This is going to serve, I believe, 48 different lots. So each one of those lots, of course, gets a water meter and a water service off of the 8-inch water main. I'm standing right here in front of, I know these look super ugly right now, but they're high enough so the dirt contractors that can go around, and doesn't matter if they get bumped. I'd rather him bump it 3 or 4 feet tall where the guys can come in, pull some back, straighten them back up, cut them off at grade. It looks really complete and done. So I know they look a little ugly right now, but standing here at a tee, you're probably looking at a drone shot right now, and basically the existing roads, you've got to tie this water system in somewhere, right? I know that makes sense to you guys that have been in the trade, but some of you guys that are probably watching this video going, you're talking about water? How does it get to the house, etc.? So just trying to help those folks as well. We've got to tie this in from the existing water main system on both ends of the project. Most projects aren't single fed anymore. And what I mean by that is that they're, especially any type of size development like this, you got to have 2 ways of feeding this system. But not only if there's an issue up here, they can isolate it and still feed the rest of the homes within the subdivision, if that makes sense. So I'm standing right here at one of those points of connection. It's a T where we have a long section of north and south water main that runs from this corner all the way to the furthest northern existing road there. Had to tie all of that in, but this is exactly where the eastern road from the existing highway out there, road collector, whatever you want to call it, comes in, came all the way down, tied in right here, and that's how this project got fed. It ran all the way around to the other side, which we're going to walk down and talk about a little bit of services here in just a minute. Oh, there's a deer that jumped right there. Look at him. Right there, dead tree, little buck. Anyways, yeah, sorry guys. Deer were all airplane. Ran all the way to the other end of the job and tied in on the existing main on the existing road opposite of this existing road, if that all made sense in that word salad there. But no, I was really proud of the guys. We had an average of 291. We went through about 3 or 4 sets of teeth on our 210. I was really proud to see the footage with the amount of material that we had to go through. Very hard material, especially up around the other corner. Had an existing property we had to cross, a little bit of off-site we had to deal with. When we say off-site, we can't control it on the site. It's somebody else's property that we're crossing with an easement. And so we had a little bit of that to deal with, and there was trees. And the boys called me and they're like, man, a Mini X makes sense for time's sake, but it's just too small for the rock that we're dealing with. Can we get the 308 out here? They did some braking and got all the way down there to the tie-in point. Then we started on all our services. There's long side and short side services when you're talking about a water main. Your short side is obviously the same side of the road that your water main's on. I had a bunch of high schoolers. Hopefully Will can link the video up here. We had high schoolers on our job subdivision about this time last year, but I taught them that normally, most generally, if you see a hydrant on your street corner or the side of the road, most generally that's the side that the water main resides on, one side or the other. Off cases, they'll shoot hydrant leads across the road. I get that, guys, and feed a hydrant to keep someplace within fire suppression commercially, or a school or something like that, and there's no water main on that side of the highway. But most generally speaking, hydrants usually sit on the same side as the water main. And as you can tell, there's 4 or 5 of them as they run up through here. That's the same side as the short side meters. Hey, we've got, 4 to 6 to maybe 10 feet of pipe, run up, set a meter can, T-post it, so the plumbers can come behind when the homes get built and can tie in from there and run to the home. So with that said, Of course, the hydrants was a little bit of a debacle. I'll talk a little bit about how we ran into a little issue with the hydrants. When you guys are looking at 4,000 plus feet of water line, hopefully there's a profile on it, which means is the side view of your plans. Shows you kind of the existing utilities that you're gonna have to cross, or gives you an understanding of where your elevation is going to be station for station. And not just an overhead view of this is where the line's gonna go, but like an actual side view into basically the ditch, of a profile of what that is. Engineers, drop down in the comments. You can explain more than I can. I'm just a little low ditch digger. And so we look at that profile. Well, some areas that water main may have to carry 6 or 7 feet deep, 6 or 7 feet depth to meet some type of requirement somewhere else, existing utility wise. Why are you laughing at me? Deep, bro, don't put that in there. Deep, bro. So anyways, when you're looking at that, you get close to a hydrant. Here, let's go down there and we'll talk about one. If you're sticking a 4-foot hydrant in grade 6 feet out of that, the proposed grade passing that hydrant location is gonna be about 6 feet from the bottom of your ditch. You probably want a freaking 6-foot hydrant, or at least a 5 feet, not a 4-footer. And there was a bunch of these that were sitting low down in the ground, and we had to come back through and almost put every single hydrant extension on these, every single one of these hydrants out here. We had to get an extension, I believe. And so just really be picky and choosy about who your supplier is. The material here was supplied for us. We didn't have quite control over that. But at the same time, hydrant extensions can range $1,200 to $1,800, depending on even $2,500 if you're going real high. So they can get really pricey at the end of a job. So be careful if you're taking on a water main, guys, that you're sitting there installing. Make sure you have a good understanding of where that hydrant needs to be when finished grade comes through. Meter cans, services. Just about anybody can lay 4,000 foot of water main. Like, to be honest with you, a little bit of training, working around a crew, you can start to pick up. If you got one guy that has a good understanding, man, 3 or 4 guys can get in a groove to laying some water main. Where you live and die when it comes to testing and like giving this product over to the city is services. It's the small connections. It's always the small things, the small details that'll, devil's in the details is where I was trying to go with that. You know, the little 10 millimeter pack nuts on your services, in your meter setters, in your meter cans, your corp nuts, making sure all your corporation stops are even on so you can feed the meters. All of those small situations, you got to build some systems to deal with the service line problems, because they'll absolutely make or break a job very quickly. And with margins as thin as they are right now, man, pay attention. Make sure. We had a training day back in winter, brought everybody in. Hey, this is how we tighten up a service into a corp stop. This is how we tighten a meter setter and a service line bottomed out. This is how an insert, where it's supposed to sit. That 4 to 6 hour training is paying off with water lines testing out and moving on and having no leaks. Because when you start having leaks and start reworking and start chasing leaks, it will absolutely eat you alive. I've been there, we've done it, and we've learned from it. And no, I was just really proud to see how this got attacked. We had the, I believe, the Komatsu 210 out here. We tried to use the wheel loader, but for some reason, this ditch got cut before we were out here. That's here nor there. Been a little bit more ideal for us to come in here, blow this water line in, and then have the guy come through and cut the ditch. We could have ran our services after, it wouldn't have mattered. It just made it kind of oblong for our mainline digger to kind of set up. And there was actually some guys out here that were learning. So if you're seeing some clips, why is he doing that? There was a couple of guys, bingo bumblebee on you there, bud. There was a couple of guys learning, first time out here. There was a couple of guys that knew what they were doing, obviously. And just the overall production of this job, the way it went, the way this stuff looks. Somebody hit my meter can, that's why I'm putting it on film. Because when you, all this stuff, that can't be given to my customer at all. Like, they're paying for a brand new meter can. This homeowner is paying for this meter can eventually. At final time, we'll probably have to replace this meter can. But what I'm trying to get at is, if you look in here, we've got a meter setter, tracer wire, meter nut down there. Well, I'm sorry, a service nut that comes into a U-branch and feeds to dual set. Basically a dual set is what we call this, and it's service for one house, irrigation, where they don't get charged. No, I believe, are we splitting? Basically, they can have an irrigation meter and then a domestic meter off of the same 1-inch service. But yeah, no, it looks great. Gravel in the bottom, tracer wire. They got some tape on here, so no gravel or no nothing can get in there. It's a little extra special touch. Anything you can do to help yourself during the testing process. Make sure you would never think, but oh, some dude was bedding a meter can and got one little 1/2-inch piece of gravel in a ball valve and kicked it open just enough, and that's what you spent a whole week chasing, digging up bells and everything. I've been there, I'm telling you. So be really cautious about that, but also too, when you're done, to help the dirt guy, so you're hopefully not replacing a ton of meter cans or valve cans or etc. Clearly mark for your customer, valves. I know it's on the plans. Everybody should realize it's there, but they don't. They don't care about your scope. If you're out here, I'm taking care of the water line. There's an electrician subcontractor, a conduit contractor, and there's a dirt contractor. They care about their stuff looking good. I care about my stuff looking good. Not every job do you get 3 subcontractors or 2 or 3 subcontractors together and care about what the end product's gonna look like. So at the same time, we worked with the electrician guys hand in hand. Dirt contractor was a little rough there for a minute, but honestly, right here at the end, we're getting it all figured out. We've all got the same like-minded set of, let's get this thing knocked out. We're right here at the end. We're testing our water line. Got a few little issues with how these meters are connected. Waiting to see how that plays out. And I'll leave that at that, and I'll tune the Underground Network members into that on our weekly Friday call. I'm excited to share that one with them. I let them in on what I was dealing with last week. So anyhow, really proud of how this job went. Through the rock, the services, the long side services, where they're at, everything's GPSed, everything's documented. We've got, here, you guys, oh, my phone broke. So my phone's broke, and I don't know if you can see it or not, but I will bring it open here. So this is all our reporting. This Snyder Farms. This is Snyder. So I have documentation. Probably see all the colors, who did it, the job name, when it was, crew size, crew total, what material came in and out, what they did footage wise for the day, some notes. Then it kicks a form telling me their daily log, what machines they had, what trucks they were, and then pictures of that day. Gives a small daily log and copies and paste there. So we've got some considerable amount of information about Snyder Farms, and this, we're actually navigating to pulling all of our information production to our sales and estimation spot to kind of house it together on Monday.com. Shout out to you guys. Anyhow, trying to negate the project management software we've got. So stay tuned for that. I know a lot of you guys ask me questions about systems, and I preach about systems and getting system dependent and all this, but check the podcast out, Underground Network. And those are kind of the spots that we're sitting here talking about how we build those systems and helping people build their systems. So yeah, you see basically that wood stretch right there, somebody else's property. The water main had to come right through there. They got into some pretty intense rock back there for a 305. They had broke it. They had a 308. It was kind of a nightmare right through there. This section actually, I believe, all carried a little bit of rock. Nothing that we needed a breaker for. Man, we went through 3 or 4 sets of teeth on our 210 pretty quickly. So, nope, we're all dressed up. Every single lot. I also wanted to bring this up, talking about meters. The lot line's right here, just about where the electrical pole's gonna sit, or junction box in this case. Water meter this side, water meter this side. Those lot lines, we're putting those utilities right on either side of those lot lines, because they're your private utility has to sit on your residence, basically your property. I know that may sound very elementary and very common sense to a lot of people, but we can't just stick 2 water meters on this piece of property and then run across their property into their property. It's not the right thing to do. So very conscious about where we're putting these water meters, GPS, shooting everything in, making sure we're on the correct. Each lot gets each one water meter. So no, really proud of this job while simultaneously operating the Missouri job, while simultaneously operating 4 or 5 other commercial jobs, while simultaneously looking at some unique opportunities inbound, major things coming down the tracks. And can't thank you guys enough for watching and supporting the last video. Man, I put myself out there a little bit open and vulnerable, talking a little bit more. We do a lot of that. Again, I mentioned Underground Network. We do that. I'm helping real businesses with real problems every week, just like myself. They're helping me in more ways than I can possibly describe to you. So at the same time, going to be opening myself up, a little bit more talky style video. I'm sorry if that's not your style of video, but definitely going to be opening up a little bit more businessy, just opening up more to you guys here on the main channel, because I really appreciate the response. The likes were there. You guys just responded overall really well, and I can't thank you enough. But yeah, on to the next one.